Okay, so for this question, we're going to be drawing the graph of f of x based on this rough sketch of f prime of x. So we're going to have to look at each interval. And so the first interval is 0 to 0.5. And the graph of f prime here is positive, so you know that f is increasing. And because the slope of f prime here is negative, that would mean that f double prime would also be negative here. So that means that this interval is concave down. And I made the sketch of f prime of x right here. And in the blue, I've started on the drawing of f of x, and so that is what the first interval would look like. And so f prime is equal to 0 at x equals 0.5. And since f prime is 0 and f double prime is negative, that means that f of x has a maximum at x equals 0.5, as you can see by the plot. In the interval 0.5 to 1, which is the next one, you can see that f prime is decreasing and f double prime would also be negative. So f is going to be concave down. And so I just drew the graph going down. And then in the next interval, so 1 to 1.5, f prime is negative. So you know that f of x is decreasing, and f double prime is going through 0, so this is a minimum on the graph. Also, f double prime is changing from negative to positive, so at this point we're going to have a point of inflection here at 1.5. And then in the next interval from x equals 1.5 to 2, f prime is negative, so f is decreasing. And f double prime is positive, so f of x here is concave up. And at x equals 2, f prime is 0. And since the slope is increasing, that means that f double prime is positive. And so f has a minimum at x equals 2, which you can see here. And then in the next interval, so from x equals 2 to x equals 2.5, f prime is positive, so f is increasing. And f double prime, you know, is positive since the slope of f prime is positive. And so f is concave here at x equals 2.5. And f double prime is 0 because the slope of f prime there is 0 as well. And since f double prime is 0 and it has changing signs from positive to negative, there's another point of inflection at x equals 2.5. And then from 2.5 to x equals 3, the next interval, f prime is positive, which means that f is increasing, and f double prime is negative, so f is concave down. And at x equals 3, f prime is 0, and f double prime is negative since the slope there is negative. And this means that f of x has a maximum at x equals 3, which you can see from that point. And from x equals 3 to infinity, f prime is negative and f double prime is also negative. So f is decreasing here and concave down. And for your graph, just make sure that you have arrows on both sides, just like the f prime sketch. And that's your sketch of f of x based on the rough sketch of f prime.